For too long, we've been told that greatness comes from somewhere else. Sorry, that ends now. We are the Canadian Premier League, proudly built for you and by you across this sovereign land, ready to take on the beautiful game on our terms. We may be young, but give us time and underestimate us at your peril. We'll keep grinding until everyone knows exactly who we are. Rosters filled with homegrowns, Canadian kids who just needed a chance, with dreams as vast as our horizons, made right here in Canada for all the world to see. Season 7 is here. We are the Canadian Premier League. Get stuck in.
Dear supporters, you know who you are and where you come from. Local, passionate, undeniably Canadian. You are the soul, heartbeat, substance, community. This is for you with gratitude. Made in Canada for all the world to see. Season 7 is here, so go forth, grow your ranks, and get stuck in.
Think biggest moments in Canadian soccer stream on One Soccer. Men's and women's national teams, TELUS Canadian Championships, Canadian Premier League. The biggest stage, the fiercest battles. Plus, get pre- and post-match analysis and all the highlights anytime. Because wherever you go, One Soccer goes with you. One Soccer, the home of Canadian soccer. Start streaming at onesoccer.ca. For too long, we've been told that greatness comes from somewhere else. Sorry, that ends now. We are the Canadian Premier League, proudly built for you and by you across this sovereign land, ready to take on the beautiful game on our terms. We may be young, but give us time and underestimate us at your peril. We'll keep grinding until everyone knows exactly who we are. Rosters filled with homegrowns, Canadian kids who just needed a chance, with dreams as vast as our horizons, made right here in Canada for all the world to see. Season 7 is here. We are the Canadian Premier League. Get stuck in.
Dear supporters, you know who you are and where you come from. Local, passionate, undeniably Canadian. You are the soul, heartbeat, substance, community. This is for you with gratitude. Made in Canada for all the world to see. Season 7 is here. So go forth, grow your ranks, and get stuck in.
Think back. Biggest moments in Canadian soccer stream on One Soccer. Men's and women's national teams, TELUS Canadian Championships, Canadian Premier League. The biggest stage, the fiercest battles. Plus, get pre- and post-match analysis and all the highlights anytime. Because wherever you go, One Soccer goes with you. One Soccer, the home of Canadian soccer. Start streaming at onesoccer.ca. For too long, we've been told that greatness comes from somewhere else. Sorry, that ends now. We are the Canadian Premier League, proudly built for you and by you across this sovereign land, ready to take on the beautiful game on our terms. We may be young, but give us time and underestimate us at your peril. We'll keep grinding until everyone knows exactly who we are. Rosters filled with homegrowns, Canadian kids who just needed a chance, with dreams as vast as our horizons, made right here in Canada for all the world to see. Season 7 is here. We are the Canadian Premier League. Get stuck in.
Dear supporters, you know who you are and where you come from. Local, passionate, undeniably Canadian. You are the soul, heartbeat, substance, community. This is for you with gratitude. Made in Canada for all the world to see. Season 7 is here. So go forth, grow your ranks, and get stuck in.
Think back.
Turn this on, yeah. Well, check 1, 2. We good? Yeah. Well, check 1, 2. We are live. Well, welcome to the League One Men's Premier League Game of the Week here in London, Ontario. FC London taking on the League One Cup champs, Vaughan, one of the premier teams in League One since its inception. Some of the best players in the country. FC London earned promotion by winning the championship last season in 2024. Just a dominant team in the championship division. So their mission this year, can they prove they belong in the Premier League? So far, so good. 2-2 draw against Alliance, who Alliance put one on Vaughan this past week, 5-2, which was a bit of a shocker result. And so London drew them 2-2. And then in the League One Cup game back on April 12th, a 2-0 win over Hamilton. Vaughan comes in, mentioned that loss to Alliance, 5-2 on April 27th. And then they beat St. Catharines back on April 19th. We are off. So starting in goal for Vaughan, Alessio Carbone, the 21-year-old, plays at York University. Matthew Medeiros, one of the premier defenders in the league. Jacob Begley, the League One 2024 midfielder of the year. The big man, such a presence in the middle of the pitch. Good slide tackle there. And that's Ramirez, chips it in, but London defender Baker, the defender of the year, and the championship keeper, Pelagia, got away with one there with the two Vaughan attackers in chase. Good pace to the game to start. O'Shaughnessy pushes it back, and now the center back up, and then Medeiros, always steady in the back line for Vaughan. Long ball up, and knocked out of bounds is going to be London ball. Raheem Rose deflected that out. A chilly evening here down in London. It was a gorgeous day this afternoon, but once the sun set, it is unseasonably cool for this time of year. A couple layers on, so we'll see if that comes into effect tonight with the temperature dipping as the game goes on. I'm Chris McKee. Appreciate you tuning in. Any issues with sound, hit me up on Twitter or X at Mr. McKee, MRMCKEE. Let me know if we're too loud, too low. We'll go from there. Spittle back to Ramirez. And then Medeiros back to Carbone. Carbone, one of the best keepers with his feet. I mean, he's another defender back there, can really spray the ball around. Rose down the right side. Chipped up. Trying to connect with Ethan Beckford. New player this year with Vaughan. on consistency. Not a lot of turnover in the lineup. A couple new players. But still the core from last year's team. Baquero pokes it up. Now Mateo Caride, the youngster, crosses in the box and then cleared away by the London defender. And now Nick Spittle. Spittle, well-traveled college player. I called his game when he was with Durham College when they won the 2019 national championship out in Oshawa. And then after that, the Ajax native went down to the U.S., down in New Jersey, was playing at Rutgers University for a couple of years. And then this past season, part of York University's OUA silver medal squad. London now on the attack for the first time. Andrew Paolucci keeps it just inside the line. Paolucci, good slide tackle by Spittle, but London ball. Paolucci, storied career at the University of Green Bay, Wisconsin. Joshua Crete, 18-year-old from Gatineau, Quebec. And now here's Baker, left-footed crossed in, and off the post! So London, Vaughan's had the run of play for the first couple minutes anyways, and now London, the first real chance on goal. Bumped out of bounds. Caride, and then Raheem Rose shouts him off. And it's Spittle right in front of me. Back to Ramirez. Bonnet. Well, now London back the other way, but just can't connect to Paolucci. Well, Rose right in front of us at the scorers table. Great ball up for Ramirez, but just a little too strong. Well, back to the keeper, Palaja, the 18-year-old League One Championship goalkeeper of the year. Watched a bunch of his highlights last night doing some research. It's outstanding. Did a bunch of games in League One. Didn't get a chance to do an FC London game. Did, 5 or 6 Vaughan games last year. So know their squad well. Baker, the skipper. Good switch out to Paolucci. He's wide open down the left side. No, Baker and Chase. Everything running through Baker. And now wins the challenge. Oshana will regroup. Crete. You could hear the footsteps. It was Dante Dioria. I thought Spittle was going to give him a good hard foul, set the tempo of the game. Crete wide open. Crete played at Queen's University first year. Trained with Atletico Ottawa in the preseason as part of the youth sports development program. Good turn by Fonseca. Santiago Fonseca, great ball up for Paolucci, and now Carbone's lost in it. Paolucci and Carbone slips, but what a save! Carbone slipped, but still managed to get a right foot on it. Oh, Paolucci had all of the goal wide open and just not composed enough. And seeing Paolucci now looking up to the sky, he's disappointed in himself. It should be 1-0 FC London. So Carbone can breathe a sigh of relief after that. Once I saw him slip, it was like, uh-oh, disaster. All Paolucci had to do was slot that in and couldn't. Begley. Ooh, kept in. London on the attack, and then Begley gets a poke at it, and it's going to be a corner for London, first one of the evening. Of course, don't forget you can download the League One app. Stay up to date. on everything happening in the game. No messages on social, so should be okay with sound for now. And then I go home and listen to the game, and it's like way too low. Baker on his left foot. Frost in. Good ball. And headed. And then what a save, Carbone. He's up for it in the opening minutes. And then Begley just clears away from danger. And London will regroup. Great ball up. And then Carbone out and just knocks that away. And that'll bounce over the fence.
Keep fucking turning him.
Baker to Dupuis. Dupuis with Windsor last year. First team All-Star in the championship division. Called one of his games against Unionville. Windsor 2-0 lead, and then late game collapse. Unionville with a 2-2 draw. Courtesy of a just beautiful bicycle goal from George Ocpavio. Great. They got to get Dioria, number 7, involved in this game. Up to Dupuis, and he's chipped the keeper. And it's just over the goal. My goodness. Carbone with horseshoes up his you-know-what here in the opening few minutes. Great long ball. Not the prettiest of soccer, old school kick and chase, but Dupuis chipped the keeper, but chipped the goal as well. Couldn't put it in. Robinson to Becerro down the left side, crossed in, and now Vaughan back the other way. Robinson, and just like that, Ryan Robinson, Robbo makes them pay. London had chance after chance and couldn't finish. And now Vaughan with a 1-0 lead in the opening minutes of the first half. Just the composure of Robinson. Had a beautiful goal last week that I seen on the League One highlight reel. And just showing that composure again. Chest it down, one quick touch, and then slots it past Luca Palaja. And it's 1-0 Vaughan. London should have been up 2-0. Not taking advantage of their opportunities, and then Vaughan does. Back the other way, the counter. And then Robbo makes them pay. Spittle, a lightning quick winger. He'll get up and down this right side. Here's Dioria. And then good challenge in from Boache. Caride. You know, last year, Caride, one of the youngsters on this Vaughan squad, trying to work his way into the lineup, and now a starter here in 2025. Such an elite youth program in Vaughan. I say it every time I call a game, call one of their games, make an argument. You know, the likes of Vaughan and Sigma, just as good, if not better, youth programs than some of the MLS academies across Canada. Reitz. Long ball. You know, London taking advantage of this breeze. Everything long. So 10 minutes in, Robinson with the goal to push Vaughan in front. Vaughan sitting back now with this 1-0 lead, and I wouldn't say lucky to be ahead 1-0, but certainly favorable to get that goal. Here's Rose. Rose weaving through, and now Spittle racing down the right side, and now Vaughan with their first corner of the evening. Mitch and Spittle. I know it is a corner, so I'm blocked here. I've got a bunch of coaches and officials all in front of me. It looks like Robinson coming over. It is. Not the most ideally situated play-by-play box here. Kind of wrestled in between both benches, crossed over, and now out to Baquero on his left foot. Robinson goes to his left, crossed in, and then, a missed opportunity. Matthew Medeiros. He was all alone, just on the left side of the box, and just swinging a miss well over the goal. Was the reason Medeiros plays defense. Had the chance to interview Matthew after the Simcoe game last year. One of my favorite players in all of League One, just a pillar back there on defense. And it was good to see him in the OUA this year, playing with York. Alvarez, 28-year-old from London, storied career at Fanshawe. A lot of Western players, obviously, on FC London. Preet. Pui. And then back to Carbone. Carbone originally down in the NCAA at Oakland University in Michigan, and didn't dress for the Grizzlies, and then now back with York and the clear number one for the York Lions. Started every game but one this past season. And led them to that OUA championship game. I was there against Ontario Tech, a frigid, probably late October, early November. Aride settles around the center of the field, and now, Dioria takes a shot to the face, and now the ref finally blows it. Begley's such a big dude, with elbows, hands kind of waving around, and he caught Dioria. Dioria, the 19-year-old League One championship first-team All-Star, just finished his first year at Fanshawe. He's fine. And it's a drop ball. Oshana. And then a bad giveaway in the center of the pitch. And it's going to be... No, it's not going to be two. Just past the goal. Beckford could not poke it past Palaja. Palaja went wandering. And Beckford couldn't punish. So both teams with golden opportunities. I mean, we could have a 2-2 game already here about 15, 20 minutes in. I don't have the game clock in front of me. Can't see, so I'm just going off the time. So about 17 minutes in. And then cheap foul called. Not a fan of that. This level, you got to let them play. Taken quickly. Baker out to Crete. Both goalies have been caught being adventurous. Palaggio almost punished there, and Carbone, again, lucky that Dupuis couldn't chip him. We did chip him, just chipped it over the goal as well. My first game doing League One play-by-play this year. Bad giveaway right to Rose. Can Vaughan punish Paquero to Rose? Beckford, and that's a hard foul, and it's a penalty. My thoughts. I can't believe that was even in the box. Just on the left side. I mean, from our angle, but hey, the ref's got a better view of it than us. And now Vaughan with an opportunity to go 2-0 up. 18 minutes in, it's going to be Beckford taking it. Beckford, 25-year-old from Manchester. It's in first year with Vaughan. Played his university soccer down at Penn State. He was on the Big Ten all-freshman team. Beckford. Now, Pelagia saved a couple penalties last season. Does he have it in him? And he does! Pelagia, outstanding! And so Pelagia bails out his teammates, and you can see again, this guy just 18 years old, outstanding keeper, and a massive save 18 minutes in. We could be looking at like a 5-5 game the way this one's going in the opening minutes. Crossed, and Pelagia claims. And he was trying to connect with Dioria, but Raheem Rose, good job of tracking back. Shauna, 25-year-olds. First team OUA All-Star at Western University, which is probably the last time I was in London, maybe about 2 years ago, watching my son's Algoma take on Western. Always love being down in London. There's Oshana. And, Pelagia, outstanding keeper. He's been a little shaky with his feet. Knocked out of bounds, and that is still Vaughan ball. Knocked out. London back the other way. It's a chilly evening here down at the FC London Academy. Flicked on, and Ramirez back to Carbone. Which in this last year, I've seen Alessio play since he was about 12, 13 years old with Unionville in the OPDL. My son, also a 2003, and competed against him for many years, so really enjoy seeing his progress. And creeped back to Pelagia. Everyone thankful for a quick breath here. It's been a torrid pace so far. The one thing I don't like out of London is there's no build-up. Everything's just kick and chase.
Stay high, Beckford! Stay high! Dante, stay high! Andrew, wait! Good, Dante. Good, Gershom.
Carbone. Ramirez. Former first-team OUA All-Star. With York. Which is such a loaded squad, that York team. Alvarez. To Fonseca. Crossed in. And there was 2 FC London players wide open. And then Ramirez gets a poke on that. And it'll be a corner for London. So London back on the attack.
As soon as you read, you got a front, you and back.
Baker over to take the corner. Baker from Strathroy, team captain.
We need you more active. Sandy, go!
First team OCAA All-Star in his years at Fanshawe. Crossed in. And ball just bouncing around and then cleared away by Vaughan. Dioria and then Spittle. Good challenge. And London just pressing. Caride was on the break. Get it to him. Beckford opts to go wide for Robinson. He had Caride making a great run. I think Caride is going to be a bit more vocal, shouting for that ball. And not just hoping Beckford gets it to him. I think Beckford's penalty a little too soft. He wants to see a bit more power, especially with this keeper, Pelagia. He's just big dude. Covers a lot of that goal. Boache. Boache there, played in the CPL with Edmonton, the now defunct Edmonton squad back in 2021. There's been some talks about reviving that, but I'd like to see another market get an opportunity instead of going back to the one that Didn't work. Baker. And then Ramirez away.
Bravo, Danny. Fight! Fight!
Robinson.
Fight! Come on, Gersh! Get down,
Dioria flicks to Baker, but Rose in pursuit.
Bob!
No foul. Baker just went to ground. That was right in front of me. He just lost control. I think he's just gassed and was dropped looking for the foul, and the ref wisely not buying it.
Dave, you cannot touch his head. Nobody touched. Not touch my guy's head. He's trying the whole game. The same. Different in the chest and the balls.
Giannis Tsitsalidis is the FC London coach, and now he's getting a yellow.
He told me one more.
Well, a heated exchange here between the London coaching staff and the referee. I think ref's done a good job so far. I had a good view of that one. There was no foul. No cards for the players, just for the coach. And composure from the London defense. This is Bradley Heath. Heath, 27-year-old from Markham. Also a first-team League One Championship Division All-Star in 2024. This London squad dominated that All-Star squad. Here's Dioria. Shielding. And now crossed in, and Spittle got a piece on it. It's going to be a London corner. Dante Dioria, the 19-year-old, was a nominee for the League One Young Player of the Year, as well as a nominee for the Midfielder of the Year. Got to get him more involved. Vaughan's done a good job of keeping him in check so far. Cross, and the Carbone punched away. Well done. Crossed in, and then Alicio claims, and then don't like that. This is Dupuis got a piece of the keeper. He'll be lucky if he doesn't get booked here. Just a warning. And Carbone. They're calling for the trainer, so it looks to be all right. He's getting up. No, they'll keep him there. Well, 25, 26 minutes gone. League One game of the week here between Vaughan, blue jerseys, red trim, and white. FC London, white jerseys with red trim. I'm Chris McKee. Appreciate you tuning in. Mention any issues with sound. Hit me up on socials at Mr. McKee. Third ball to Beckford, but Beckford, let's see if take a touch control that. Alvarez goes to a bit much. Although I'll give the ref the benefit of the doubt. That was on the far side of the field, so he's got a much better view of it than me anyways. You can feel the intensity and temperature of the game starting to heat up. It's getting a little chippier. Set up along that 18-yard box. Be the right footer. Short, and then nodded away by Baquero. And O'Shaughnessy punches back into nobody. Carbone claims. Medeiros, long ball up.
Ideally, because last 2 seasons.
Elijah. To Heath.
this is the only coach who's trying to be in. Okay, this is
He's actually rattled though.
Shauna in the middle.
Stop, Josh, back.
London in search. Just joining us. Ryan Robinson put Vaughan in front 10 minutes in. Good long ball. He chested it down and then placed it past the keeper, Pelagia. A missed penalty by Vaughan. Well, you shouldn't say a missed penalty. Great save by Pelagia, the keeper. And then London with a couple opportunities. One off the post and another where Carboni, the keeper, slipped. And Paolucci couldn't punish him. Ended up shooting it right to the keeper. Caride. Giveaway. And now here comes London. Dioria. Good through ball to Dupuis. Now Dioria, but Medeiros clears it away. Oh, and an unnecessary foul by Dioria. He's got the Vaughan defender pinned, and he's got nowhere to go. No need to foul him there. Watch it. Good job of selling it. Wache, part of Team Canada at the U17 and U20 level. Parents are from Ghana, eligible to play for both Ghana and Canada internationally. Rose, he's got Robinson on a good run. Great ball through. But Freet comes away and clears. Back to Ramirez. Vaughan will switch over to Baquero. Baquero, 30-year-old Cuban. Played for Cuba between 2013 and 18 internationally. And, of course, with Valor FC for a couple years in the CPL. I called a couple of his games in the CPL. And a whistle, I think he walked too far is what they're saying. He wants him to backtrack. A little ticky-tacky. I don't like that kind of stuff because it ruins the rhythm of the game. It's not much of a difference. 6 to one, half a dozen of the other if he's 3 feet forward or ahead. When you're in the attacking zone, it's a little different. Dupuis, good touch. Dioria has got Paolucci. League 2 MVP with the Athlete Institute. And there's Robbo again showing his pace to Rose, and Rose's touch not there. O'Shauna back to clear for London. Heath, former Electric City FC player. It's the League One club they had in Peterborough a couple years ago. I was at the Electric City first ever home game. Great crowd. It's disappointed to see they couldn't sustain that momentum. Man, that's a good challenge. That's Paolucci all the way to the left winger over on the right side, backtracking. Now Vaughan again. So 32 minutes gone, 1-0 Vaughan, courtesy of Ryan Robinson. Begley. Begley's storied career at Ontario Tech. Well, it was it UIOT then, and then they changed, it's always a mouthful to say that. I'm thankful they changed it to Ontario Tech. Here's Beckford. Beckford goes to ground. He's already been given one. He's not getting a second penalty. And Begley, good challenge. And then, who was that? Heath and looks like Caride got their feet tangled up. And now a dangerous opportunity here from Vaughan about 25, 26 yards out. And let's see who stands over it. It's a great angle for an opportunity on goal. Looks like Robinson standing over it.
35.
He's got Caride, Boache, and Robinson. But it looks like Robbo will have a go. Pelagia setting up his wall. Robbo. And then right into the wall. And now London back the other way. Here's Dioria, is it? No, it's Alvarez, excuse me. But he had nobody with him. And again, the long balls from London, they just got to have more buildup because eventually it's going to catch up with them. Baquero on the right side. And he tried to catch the keeper sleeping. Keeper was out, and Baquero, good idea. I'm all right with that. He certainly earned that opportunity. Baquero also really active in the futsal in the winter. Defected to Canada in 2017 following a 6-0 loss to the Canadian national team at BMO. And then Heath. And another penalty's been called after a handball by Heath. Oh, my word. I mean, you could say ball to hands, but the ref right there got a good view at it. And now Vaughan with their second penalty of the first half.
Andy, la tuya.
Well, Beckford missed the first one. There's no way he's going to have another go at it. So let's see who steps up on it. It looks like Baquero is going to take it.
Speedo.
It is. So all the breaks going the way of Vaughan here the first half. A second penalty. And here's Baquero. You want to see a bit more pace. There just wasn't enough on that penalty from Beckford. Will Baquero learn the lesson? Pelagia, already huge once. Can he do it a second time? Baquero. And then, oh my goodness. Oh, that was splendid. Baquero had Pelagia going the wrong way. And then Cheeky puts it in the right side of the net. 2-0 Vaughan, 36 minutes in. Wow. Well, that's as good a penalty as you'll see in this league. I was talking about how Beckford just didn't put enough on that last one. Well, Baquero put even less on it, but he just had Pelagia going the wrong way. Unlucky for Pelagia. Got to feel for the I'm the parent of a goalkeeper, so you don't want to see any of them trying to have to save 2.5. He already made that big time save, and so odds are certainly against him on that one. Crete. He had Caride in chase, and then 3 Vaughan players all around him, and wisely just gets rid of it. Spittle, quick throw. Caride. And Caride has a shot on goal, and easy for Pelagia. It's about 37 minutes gone. 2-0 Vaughan. It could have been 2-0 London about 8 or 9 minutes in. Had they capitalized, they didn't. You cannot, when you get your opportunities against a squad like Vaughan, you got to punish them. London didn't. When you see how good Vaughan's playing tonight, I didn't get a chance to see the loss to Alliance. You wonder, was that just one of those games? That early Dioria and Begley jawing at each other. And Dupuis, it's no whistle. And then the linesman did call it. Ramirez will switch. Back to Carbone. Great ball up to Caride. I would love to see Caride just turn on that instead of heading it back. because the ball was going to die for him. It was a great chip from Carbone. Dioria right in front of us to Alvarez. And two blue jerseys converge and a turnover. Medeiros trying to chip the keeper. Oy, good idea. But that wind held it up. Bit of a breeze going right to left on the camera. And I like the idea from Medeiros. But watch, it goes to ground. And now a foul called. He didn't need to. Can't see who that was over on the other side. Might have been Fonseca. I can't see what you're seeing in the camera. I'm the blind old man just beneath it. Well, a chilly evening here in London, Ontario. Appreciate you tuning in, which is my first League One game of the year. Did about 20, 25 League One games last year between the men and women, and done a handful of Canadian Premier League games as well over the past couple of years. Spent my winter doing the Raptors 905. I was the radio play-by-play guy for them. So it's always an adjustment, just getting the pace to go from basketball to soccer for me. And Baker will throw in. Not a lot of movement from London. O'Shaughnessy. And they'll switch to Heath. And Heath also played at Fanshawe, 7 goals in his OCAA career. Greet. Where's Creed? Is it Greece? I should know this. Nifty footwork from Robinson, and then back to Carbone. Ramirez. Bagley, which in the League One midfielder of the year. He's really deep. With that holding mid right in front of the back line. Out to Rose down the right side. And Pelagia, no one around him, scoops it up. Pelagia, just 18 years old. Big save already on that penalty. Obviously nothing he can do on the second one. I'm really enjoying the play of the back line of FC London. This midfield is just not involved enough. It's almost like they're running away from the defenders. Come back. Come look for the ball. And errant pass rolls out of bounds. Decent crowd here. The FC London Academy dealing with the unseasonably cold May night. Ramirez started out his college career down at Robert Morris University, which is in Pennsylvania. Former Horizon League All-Star. See that quite a bit. Guys go down. I think it's when they're young, they have that dream of wanting to play NCAA football. And they get down there, maybe not what it's all cracked up to be, unless you're on one of those big-time squads, maybe North Carolina, Georgetown, some of the SEC schools. And then more often than not, they want to come back and play in the OUA or anywhere across the youth sports. See, my son been a youth sports player for the past 4 years, so I've had as good a view as a lot of these boys as anyone. Certainly a lot of these Vaughan guys with York. I will give a shout out to the Algoma boys who Algoma University defeated York University up in Sault Ste. Marie, an unthinkable win in a monsoon. I watched that whole game on the live stream. I do go up to Sault Ste. Marie to watch my son a little bit, but not that game. and the most historic win in the history of Algoma University, beating a nationally ranked York U. I mean, good to see York got over that and managed to get themselves in the OUA championship game, and as well as in the good run winning bronze in the U Sports National Championship. Another good opportunity here for Vaughan coming up at the end of the first half. Looks like Robinson again. That's a way away from me. Got to get some pace on this. This is one of those tough ones for the keeper. It's in that limbo. Do you come? Do you stay? Flicked in. Still there, and it's cleared away by London. No one on Vaughan could knot it down. And Spittle will regroup. Vaughan at this point content to take a 2-0 lead into half.
Tight, front two, tight, tight, calm,
Spittle looking for Caride. Caride got his left elbow up. And he's lucky the ref didn't see it, nor the linesman. Balaja. You know, if I'm Vaughan, I'm still up 2-0, but at some point, force him. Make the keeper. He looked a little unsteady with the ball at his feet in the opening couple minutes. I don't know if that's just nerves or. But now a turnover in the middle. Caride. Robinson. And quickly taken Dioria. He's got Palucci down the left side. He's got to get it to him. Too slow to get it to him. He had all day. And unnecessary foul was that Raheem Rose all over Dioria. But Dioria's got to be quicker with that pass. He had Palucci making his run. Now here's Palucci inside the 18, shot on goal. And then, Dupuis can't get it. Opportunity after opportunity, and London can't finish. Bersham Dupuis, and now a yellow. Both coaches will be in the book. Oh, no, that's to Spittle. I thought it was to the coach. So Nick Spittle now. First yellow for any player on the pitch. I don't even know what Spittle was arguing about. That's 45 minutes gone. Almost like a hockey buzzer. That startled all of us here. I'm sitting right next to the Vaughan bench. Added time. Shouldn't be too much more than a minute or two. I have not seen what the fourth official has added. Just one extra minute. Yeah, not a lot of injuries or stoppages in play. The linesman trying to force Rose back a few yards. And that'll do it. Well, Vaughan will take a 2-0 lead into half, courtesy of a Ryan Robinson goal 10 minutes in, and then a penalty by Andy Baccaro, which was as good a penalty as you'll see, to make it 2-0 Vaughan. London, numerous glorious opportunities. They couldn't finish, and it'll be a what-if for London. Baccaro, about 36 minutes in, his penalty. And so if you're London, you got to come out in the second half and go for it. And you wonder if they got to get one early, kind of within the first 10, 15 minutes of the second half, so Vaughan just doesn't sit back and defend. Well, we'll take a quick 10-minute break or so. For half, I'm Chris McKee. Appreciate you tuning in. Again, any issues with sound, drop me a message on Twitter or X at Mr. McKee, MRMCKEE. Let me know if we're too loud, too low, and we'll try to get these issues sorted for the second half. Appreciate you tuning in. League One Men's Premier League.
For too long, we've been told that greatness comes from somewhere else. Sorry, that ends now. We are the Canadian Premier League, proudly built for you and by you across this sovereign land, ready to take on the beautiful game on our terms. We may be young, but give us time and underestimate us at your peril. We'll keep grinding until everyone knows exactly who we are. Rosters filled with homegrowns, Canadian kids who just needed a chance, with dreams as vast as our horizons, made right here in Canada for all the world to see. Season 7 is here. We are the Canadian Premier League. Get stuck in.
Dear supporters, you know who you are and where you come from. Local, passionate, undeniably Canadian. You are the soul, heartbeat, substance, community. This is for you with gratitude. Made in Canada for all the world to see. Season 7 is here, so go forth, grow your ranks, and get stuck in.
Moments in Canadian soccer stream on One Soccer. Men's and women's national teams, TELUS Canadian Championships, Canadian Premier League. The biggest stage, the fiercest battles. Plus, get pre- and post-match analysis and all the highlights anytime. Because wherever you go, One Soccer goes with you. One Soccer, the home of Canadian soccer. Start streaming at onesoccer.ca. For too long, we've been told that greatness comes from somewhere else. Sorry, that ends now. We are the Canadian Premier League, proudly built for you and by you across this sovereign land, ready to take on the beautiful game on our terms. We may be young, but give us time and underestimate us at your peril. We'll keep grinding until everyone knows exactly who we are. Rosters filled with homegrowns, Canadian kids who just needed a chance, with dreams as vast as our horizons, made right here in Canada for all the world to see. Season 7 is here. We are the Canadian Premier League. Get stuck in.
Dear supporters, you know who you are and where you come from. Local, passionate, undeniably Canadian. You are the soul, heartbeat, substance, community. This is for you with gratitude. Made in Canada for all the world to see. Season 7 is here. So go forth, grow your ranks, and get stuck in.
Think biggest moments in Canadian soccer stream on One Soccer. Men's and women's national teams, TELUS Canadian Championships, Canadian Premier League. The biggest stage, the fiercest battles. Plus, get pre- and post-match analysis and all the highlights anytime. Because wherever you go, One Soccer goes with you. One Soccer, the home of Canadian soccer. Start streaming at onesoccer.ca. For too long, we've been told that greatness comes from somewhere else. Sorry, that ends now. We are the Canadian Premier League, proudly built for you and by you across this sovereign land, ready to take on the beautiful game on our terms. We may be young, but give us time and underestimate us at your peril. We'll keep grinding until everyone knows exactly who we are. Rosters filled with homegrowns, Canadian kids who just needed a chance, with dreams as vast as our horizons, made right here in Canada for all the world to see. Season 7 is here. We are the Canadian Premier League. Get stuck in.
Dear supporters, you know who you are and where you come from. Local, passionate, undeniably Canadian. You are the soul, heartbeat, substance, community. This is for you with gratitude. Made in Canada for all the world to see. Season 7 is here. So go forth, grow your ranks, and get stuck in.
Think back to when Canada was a soccer country without its own league, without a place to develop and showcase our own players, or a space where fans could sing their songs and hold.
Check 1, 2. Welcome back for the start of the second half. Men's League One Premier League Game of the Week here on the League One Ontario YouTube stream. Don't forget, click that button, subscribe, so you can get notified anytime there's a new live match coming across your YouTube stream. I'm Chris McKee. Appreciate you tuning in. Vaughan with a 2-0 lead over FC London here in London, Ontario. The FC London Academy. Ryan Robinson 10 minutes in with a calm and cool collective finish. Slot one past the keeper, Luca Palaja. And then Andy Baquero, the 30-year-old Cuban, with a penalty in the 36th minute. And that was the second penalty of the first half. Palaja saved one from Ethan Beckford. No substitutions for either squad. London, white jerseys, red shorts. Vaughan, traditional blue jerseys, red and white trim. And Begley, well, it looks like, or is that Medeiros back there to clear that away? If you're FC London, I mentioned just before the half, I think they got to try to push and get one 10, 15 minutes in here. So that way Vaughan can't just sit back and park the bus and defend and not allow London to get through. So no substitutions. We'll see if, I would have guessed probably somewhere around the 65th minute, 60, 65 minutes in. We'll see it. Caride flicked up to Robbo, and then Heath. To Carbone. To Carbone, the number one keeper with York University. A good chunk of this Vaughan squad. See the same head coach, Coach Carm, coaching both York and here at Vaughan. And both rosters fairly similar. I can't see who's down on the grounds from here, from London. But it's going to be a Vaughan free kick. 26, 27 yards out, far right side of the pitch. I'm sure you'll be seeing that Baquero penalty on the League One YouTube and Twitter. I'm thinking they have a TikTok. I don't use TikTok, so I don't know. I'm assuming. Of course, don't forget, drop them a follow on Instagram, League One Ontario. Dangerous cross in. Pelagia, and somebody made contact with the keeper. Ref blew it. Not really a fan of that call because the keeper came out and initiated the contact. My glasses are fogging up here in this cold. Ramirez. Who's 22? Just trying to find a number correction. Beckford. And Robinson back the other way. Charles Orban, that's 22. There we go. Orban not in the lineup last week. They're right back here for FC London. Just in front of me here at the scores table now. Starting this week. Orban, 19-year-old defender. Big dude. And here's London down the left side of the wing. And solid defense from Vaughan. And it is a corner, yeah. Couldn't see if it was a corner throw, and it will be. You want to look maybe Orba, one of these big defenders, getting on their head. Definitely open the game up. London can get one back here, crossed in, and Carbone diving. That one, I think it handcuffed him a little because it was a little shorter than I think he wanted it or thought it would be. Poked back in. And London just swarming everywhere, and then Vaughan just away from danger. Orba, Beckford. All over Fonseca. And he's way too casual with that. And then Beckford, but then much ado about nothing. It'll go back to Pelagia, and London will regroup. So I had to check the sound at half. Everything sounded pretty decent. It's always a work in progress, these live streams. 1 week the sound immaculate, the next week, not so much. Heath, 27-year-old from Markham. First team League One All-Star in the championship division, Spittle, and he's tripped up and easy foul called, and that was Paolucci, unnecessary. Vaquero. And then back to Pelagia. Of course, for Sean Walks, one of the key figures on Vaughan last year, gone. One of the few subtractions from Vaughan. Walks now with Simcoe County. Walks one of the top goal scorers in League One. And so who does Vaughan replace those goals with? And that's what we're looking to find out. Obviously, Ethan Beckford going to be a part of that equation and solution. Here's Fonseca. He could have had a go from there, but didn't. Great. Dangerous ball in to Dioria. He's got help with him. Dioria goes right foot. And it was like Begley just cleared away the danger right to me. Heath, quick throw in. And that's a pro foul, middle of the field. Begley, I think he knew exactly what he was doing. And now the card coming out to Begley. Well, Begley had one in the first half where he got an elbow or a hand in the face of Dioria, so maybe, not necessarily a hard challenge, but maybe cumulative challenges, and now the refs had enough, and Begley in the book. Begley, League One Midfielder of the Year, outstanding season last year for Vaughan, League One Cup champs, second in the league behind Scrisoppi, who were the League One champs by 4 points. So a really thin margin. And here's London, knotted down, and then Ramirez to Baquero. And here comes Vaughan on the counter. Rose, and a great shout by Beckford, but Heath did enough to get in the way. And now a shoving match between Pelagia and Beckford. And that was more the keeper retaliating. Oh, keep the cards in the pocket. And the ref does, thank goodness. I'm fine with Pelagia pushing back, though. He's a much bigger dude. Even though Beckford's got him by about 5 or 6 years in the age category, Pelagia's got him by about 5 or 6 inches in the height and size category. Vaughan. And a wild cross that it's out of bounds. No, the ref, so the linesman has called that. That went behind the goal and then crossed back in. I could even see that from here. The temperature keeps dropping here in London. It's in the single digits now. Clever little flick. A hard challenge, but not much in it. So we are about 9 minutes into the second half. Vaughan with a 2-0 lead. London, numerous missed opportunities in the first half. They could easily be up 3-2. So if they can't turn this around, that'll be what they will lament. I mentioned off the top, the story is, London, the League One champions, and can they hang in the Premier League with the big dogs? And the answer is yes, certainly can. I know the score, not necessarily telling of how balanced the game's been. As London's had chances. They've got a ton of talent, some really elite players. I was impressed doing my research and figuring out who these guys are. Here's Arbaugh, swung in right to Carbone, and right in his mitts. But yeah, London should definitely be one of the squads, definitely near the top of the table in the Premier League from what I've seen. They passed the eyeball tests. I did about, like I said, 20, 25 games, and the majority of them in the men's Premier Division last year. They got a pretty good handle on who's what and who's who. I did about the last 6 or 7 Scrisoppi games in a row, so a good look at what the top dogs look like. So a bit of a calamity in the back line for Vaughan, and now London with an opportunity here on a set piece. Can't see who's in the corner taking it. Left foot swung in, and then, Heath came flying in. Couldn't get a head on it, though. Collision with Baquero. And then what a touch by Robinson. A great challenge by Alvarez. Tomas Alvarez. 28-year-old former Electric City FC player. Plenty of League One experience. And Medeiros Maxwellesio. It's not quite as cold as that OUA championship game up at the York Lions Stadium at the end of the year. Ontario Tech with a surprising victory. Went up to watch that, enjoyed it. Again, no substitutions, but if you're London, it's about that time you want to start thinking about it.
Help him, Dante! Dante, help!
Is that Boache? It is. Body's dropping, and he's taken down 2.
Yeah, but you gotta walk top of the box. Don't wait.
Elijah to Heath. He's got Orba with him. 13 minutes in the second half. And there's Spittle. Again, Spittle absolutely lightning quick. A foul called. I don't like that. He just went through the challenge, but either way, it'll be a London ball. I actually had the chance to play pickup with Nick Spittle a couple of years ago out at the Oshawa Civic during Christmas break. I went out with my son during Christmas holidays, and there was a bunch of the Durham College and Ontario Tech players all playing pickup, and I jumped in the game. I held my own. Needless to say, I didn't hurt. I haven't heard that bad after even just a pickup game in many years trying to keep up with a guy like Nick Spittle. But a lot of fun. My playing day's long done, but I'll go to the Oshawa Civic once in a while just for a kick around. Fonseca on a great run, and Fonseca goes to ground. And no foul called. Ref Reet. Vaughan coaching staff, not a fan of Fonseca, saying he's dropping. And both coaching staffs having a go at each other right now. Battle of words. It's always entertaining. Always love sitting next to the Vaughan coaches. You get quite the earful. And occasionally they give it to me. They don't like what I'm saying. But thankfully, for my sake, they're up 2-0. So I haven't heard anything from them. So hear it on occasion from the Kasabi coaching staff as well. I always say, I've been broadcasting now for many years. The most challenging game I ever did last year, Vaughan versus Kasabi, because I had both Coach Carmen and John Yacko screaming at me in both sides. And it was like, no, there's nowhere to hide for the broadcaster. Boache on a great run, and then Caride upended by Fonseca. And a good foul by Fonseca as well. Middle of the pitch, no danger. Vaughan. Just take it quick. If I'm Begley, give it to Baquero. Let's go. There's Baquero. Scored a penalty 36 minutes in. My favorite penalty ever did, I mentioned, did that, the 2019 CCA, the Canadian College Championships. Michael Fayoun, who's played with Masters and a bunch of other teams in League One, was with Humber, and he did the no run, just stood there over the ball, no run, almost like, you're passing a passing drill. It was the cheekiest penalty I've ever seen. But Baquero's one certainly high on the cheeky radar here tonight. Loved it. Of course, Baquero, former Cuban international. Him and Alejandro Portal both defected to Canada back in 2017. And I can't see who's on the ground. It looks like Heath, perhaps. Can't see. No, it's not Heath. The darker it gets, the harder it is for me to see. Maybe Alvarez looks like went to the ground. Oshana quickly to Heath. And disappointing pass. That's a good challenge by Heath. Alvarez. To Baker. Like to see Baker maybe push up a little, get more involved in the attack. He's such a skilled player. Sitting a little deep, especially the minutes ticking by. Here's Beckford. And Heath away from danger. You know, Beckford's father, Jason, played at Man City, Blackburn, Stoke, Birmingham City, and a host of others. Storied career. His uncle as well is Darren. Also a storied career in English football. So great lineage in that family. You know, Beckford also well-traveled himself. He's played all through England for Hanley Town, Atherton, Hyde United, and a bunch more. Played with Simcoe County in League One back in 2022, as well as bouncing around Europe. Great addition for Vaughan. He's a real class player. Heath Orba. And again, the long ball and no danger for Carbone. Everything long ball, kick and chase for London. It's not pretty football. I mean, clearly effective. They won the championship last year. And Caride called with another foul. And good sportsmanship. Him and Heath exchange a quick high five or low five. And it looks like we got our first substitution of the night. Vaughan about to make a change. We're going to see Chris Campoli for the first time tonight. As well as who's 21? And James Fidalgo as well about to enter the game. Fidalgo, 19-year-old, part of the York University squad. Campoli, of course, former U Sports Player of the Year. Just rejoined Vaughan for this game. Wasn't part of the squad the first two games. Coming back from injury. Just an embarrassment of riches of talent for Vaughan. Guys that would be starting on just about every other League One Premier League team. And so Ethan Beckford will be coming out. And it looks like Nick Spittle as well. So Fidalgo will go in. Campoli will play up top. I love that. You're Vaughan. You can bring in a guy who's three-time Canadian Premier League draft pick. One of the most lethal goal scorers in Canadian soccer. Certainly in League One and at the university level. Number of Campolis, a part of this Vaughan organization. They just keep coming through. Well, 21 minutes gone in the second half. 2-0 lead for Vaughan. Still no substitutions from London, but we're seeing some guys now jerseys off, so they're about to make their first substitutions of the night. Crossed in and then cleared away. That's Caride diving. He's trying to get it on goal, but knotted it back. There's Fidalgo right into the game. First touch, and he's on the attack. Heath. So it looks like Campoli playing a little wide. I think they've pushed Caride up top where Beckford was. And now here's Campoli. And pushed out of bounds, and it's still going to be Vaughan ball, so they can slow things down as Bawache comes over. Good evening of football for both Beckford and Spittle. Oh, good challenge. Yeah, rolls out, and Vaughan can let more seconds tick away. So what do we got? And it's so Owen Dylan Holmes will enter the game, number 19. It's a youngster, 17-year-old, as well as Thomas Ribeiro, 23-year-old. It's been a part of the Vancouver Whitecaps organization, an OUA All-Star with Western University. So the youngster, Owen Dylan Holmes, in. Which is a 17-year-old from Stratford, was with FC London last year. I like his name. It's a very poetic name. He's got the name of like an 18th century English poet, Owen Dylan Holmes. Let's see if he can make some poetry on the pitch here tonight, trailing 2-0 against Vaughan. Campoli. Begley to Medeiros. Medeiros certainly in my top 3 favorite defenders in League One. Love Matthew Pava, who was with Scrasapi and played at McMaster. Both Medeiros, now I don't want to jinx them, but both Medeiros and Pava said, I never see them make mistakes. Just rock solid time and time again. Medeiros has been outstanding tonight as well. Other than the one opportunity he missed in the first half from about 7 yards out, he did make a mistake. Defensively, he doesn't make mistakes. Oh, great through ball by Campoli and Caride. Oh, I mean, the technique on that, the way he got it on goal, the spin on that ball was tough. And Caride, great opportunity on net, but just skips wide. "25 minutes gone in the second half. At some point, London's got to make a push and throw everything in the kitchen sink up to try to nick one back and make this a game in the closing minutes. And again, these long balls just not there. Baquero. And the connection. Baquero had all day, and that's why coaching staff not a fan of it. Here comes Carbone. And again, I see it time and time again. There's nobody better with the ball at his feet as far as the keepers go than Alicia Carbone. He could probably play striker in this league or midfield. No, I've never seen him run, so I don't know. He's certainly got the touch. Good switch out to Campoli, wide open on the left side. Campoli's got Boache with him. And Vaughan content with just holding possession. No need to push it up the field with a 2-0 lead. And Rose now back and regroups. Robinson. Really a class goal in the first half by Robinson. His first touch was just outstanding and allowed him to control it and then just slotted it past the keeper. Which I saw that goal he had last week that was on the League One Instagram. It was a thing of beauty. Of course, don't forget, drop a follow. League One Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, whatever you prefer. It's like more substitutions coming for Vaughan. See a couple others getting the shin pads on, taking the warm-up bibs off. It's like Solji Olatoye will enter the game momentarily. Here comes Baquero.
Owen, go. Back there. Base.
And more substitutions for London as well. We'll find out momentarily. Both squads with subs, a lot of activity in front of me. It's hard to see what's going on. Give me a moment. Heath. Ribeiro, one of the subs that just came on. Ribeiro, part of the Canadian national team at age 15. So it's Olatoye. That'll roll out for a goal kick for London, and then here's where the subs will come in. So Ryan Robinson will come out. Great game for Robbo. 3 players coming in for Vaughan. So we got 17. Cam Smith enters the game for London. There's 3. Liam Vivian into the game, 22-year-old from Aurora. Great NCAA career at LSU Shreveport. Raheem Rose out for Solji Olatoye. And we've also got Alejandro Portal getting set to come in momentarily at the next whistle for Vaughan. So fresh legs for both squads. If you're London, you got to press. You can't just let the keeper sit there. Olatoye, 25-year-old from Brampton, former York University player. U Sports second team All-Canadian and OUA East All-Star. Also played at LaSalle University down in the Philadelphia area. Vivian, number 3 for Vaughan. Mentioned at LSU Shreveport. 73 games played. He's the university's all-time appearance leader. Not with Vaughan last year. Well, not this squad anyways. He's part of FC Durham in his youth days. Baquero back and away from danger. If you're Vaughan, you'll take that for the next 15 minutes or so. No real danger from London in the second half. A number of great opportunities in the first half. Carbone with a big save, a post hit, and then just another missed opportunity by London. Ribeiro. And Madeiros just away for a corner. If you're London, push everybody up here. They got to get one sooner than later.
Andy.
London guys trying to decide, are they going to go shorts? No, just send it. If you're London, no short stuff. Send the ball in the box. Someone's got to get ahead on it. Dangerous ball in. And then too strong. And then back at it again. Looks like Ramirez got a head on that. And here's Baquero. He's got guys with him. Great ball forward. And here comes Vaughan. And too soft. The pass. Not there. Campoli. His touch just let him down. You also had the keeper. Campoli might have had eyes for goal himself even. So it looks like Campoli's been pushed over to that right side. Was down the left wing, and now Olatoye patrolling the left wing instead. And a foul if you're Vaughan. Slow things down. Let more seconds tick off the clock.
Too many changes all at once. We don't want to. Owen, higher. Higher.
His first touch by Olatoye. Clever. And Orbaugh all over Boache, and the ball goes out of bounds, and it's going to be London ball. Vaughan doing a good job of just holding shape. Here's Orbaugh. And Olatoye, he's hammered. You can hear the crack on his shin pad. It's been a mostly clean game. It got a little chippy there mid-first half, but things have settled down. Oshana. Ribeiro came on about 10 minutes ago. And again, London with those long balls.
Squeeze! Squeeze! Gabi!
Carbone, part of Team Ontario in his youth days with Unionville. That's a disappointing campaign for Unionville. Their championship squad was good. Their League Two squad which is surprising because they have so many good players in their OPDL and youth academies. You think they could field a better League Two squad. Hopefully this year, a new opportunity to turn that around. Well, big shout out to my son Alex, who's scheduled to play in the championship in League Two this year, but knee injury, just had surgery about 2 weeks ago, out for the year. So disappointing on my son at 21. He'd been training with Masters and the Borough FC and was just about to decide where he was going to play, and then the injury came in training. And it's a good profile by Campoli, and he'll go in the books with a yellow. But at this stage of the game, it's a good foul. London, again, everyone pushing up. They got to get one sooner than later. Looks like Ribeiro standing over it. The London coach is obstructing my view. Everyone hovering around that 18-yard line. And why not have a go? Oh, what a save by Carbone. What a crack. I mean, the technique to hit that. And then Alicio, outstanding. And here comes Matteo Caride back the other way. He's got nobody with him. And now finally Vivian with him. Vivian's got to give him a shout, and he doesn't. Caride all on his own. Vivian's streaking down the left wing and not vocal enough. Fonseca looking for a foul. Nobody touched him. It was literally right in front of me, 2 feet. And Olatoye off his arm, saying his chest, but it wasn't. It's Boache. Excuse me. Baker. Certainly a learning experience for FC London, making that jump up to the Premier League. This is the standard. This is what they'll have to match if they want to have the same success they had in the championship last season. But again, like I said, really impressed with what I've seen from London. They'll be fine this year. We had a great result against Alliance, 2-2 draw. Alliance, one of the elite squads in League One. Alliance is definitely going to be in the conversation for League One champs this season. It's the usual suspects, Scrisapi. You wonder, though, early in the season, does Scrisapi maybe lose track? Because we saw it last year with Simcoe, where everything, every drop of energy and focus was all on that Canadian Championship matchup against Toronto FC. And early in the season, Simcoe just didn't get the results last year. So you wonder, does Scrisapi fall victim to that themselves? They'll be in the Canadian Championship as well, upcoming. But again, Swisapi's so good that I have a feeling they'll be just fine. Vaughan content with just kicking it up the field and everyone sitting back, holding shape. 38 minutes gone in the second half. But Fonseca out wide, crossed in, and then another good save by Carboni. Carboni has been outstanding all evening long, right from the get-go. I mean, that big first save in the opening minutes where he slipped and then still managed to get up and regroup, keep it from going in, and then that great save a few moments ago on that long strike from London, and Carbone certainly in the conversation for man of the match tonight. Hard challenge by Vivian, and the ref plays advantage. London down the left side. And then away from danger. We're going to see a substitution momentarily. Alejandro Portal will enter the game. Alejandro, 29-year-old, former Cuban international. Also played in the Canadian Premier League with the Halifax Wanderers a couple years ago. He's been with Simcoe County past couple years, called a bunch of his games last year, and now Rashawn Walks goes to Simcoe. Portal comes back the other way to Vaughan. Just the novelty of having that kind of experience come off your bench this late in the game is why Vaughan will be in the conversation for League One champs. And goal kick and let the clocks tick away, or the seconds tick away, excuse me. 40 minutes gone in the second half. It's now or never for FC London. Appreciate you guys tuning in here in the League One Game of the Week. Of course, don't forget, click subscribe, that red button on YouTube so you can stay up to date on all things League One, men's and women. And anytime there are live streams happening. I've checked out a couple games on the live stream in the early ones. Still haven't got my full schedule will be broadcast. It's my first one of the season, but hopefully this week I'll have a better understanding what games I'll be doing coming up. Really looking forward to it. Had a blast doing this last summer. Can't wait to do it again. Both love the men's and women's games. Orba, good switch for London. They're throwing everyone up in the attack now. Frostin and Vivian, captain of his squad down at LSU Shreveport. Boache, he's got Caride with him down the left side. Great through ball to Portal, who just came on. And Heath, good job of defending to keep that out. Campoli calls off Boache. Chris will come up, throw it in. Of course, Campoli started out his university career at Ontario Tech before shifting over to TMU, formerly Ryerson. Great to see the growth of Ontario Tech. I'm out in Durham region, live in Pickering, so I occasionally go out and watch the Ridgebacks games on a Saturday or Sunday afternoon when the weather's nice.
Keep talking with arrows. Come towards the ball.
Baker, the skipper. It's been a little bit quiet in the second half. Bellucci wide and errant pass. 42 minutes gone in the second half, and looks like Vaughan wants to squeeze in one last substitution.
Medeiros in the middle of the 5 car. Yes. Calvin and Lorenz either side. And
Just waiting to see.
Get it to shape. Get it to shape.
We don't have a 6 on the lineup, so I'm looking on my roster. We don't have a 6, so we'll find out momentarily. Give me a sec. Good run by Boache. He's got Campoli. And a good shot on goal, but Luca Palaja.
I'll let him know. Yeah.
Hey!
Bad. Lorenzo.
So Lorenzo Curry about to enter the game. Number 6 for Vaughan. Was not on the roster or the app. And Matteo Caride. Great evening tonight. Vaughan, well, 2 minutes plus added time. I can't see too much added time here. It shouldn't be more than about 2-3 minutes max, because we haven't had any real injuries or stoppages of play. In. Liam Vivian. Great pace since he's come on. And that's what you want to see from your subs. You know, you're only getting 15 minutes. Empty the tank. Get out there. Olatoye as well has impressed since he's come on. Fonseca. Cheeky little chip up, but Carbone comes out to claim, and Carbone will let the seconds tick. Coming up on the 90th minute mark. And we're going to see 3 minutes of added time. The fourth official right in front of me with the board. London's going to try to squeeze in one last substitution. And it's going to be Amon Khanna. There's 90 minutes done. Khanna, 23-year-old from Mumbai, India. Played at Western. If you're Vaughan, just keep the ball in London's half of the pitch, and you'll get 3 points. Great bounce-back performance by Vaughan after the disappointment against the Lions last week. And and now, was a Medeiros in a fight. Pushed him down, and now there's punches being thrown. Someone's getting a red. I didn't see what happened. All of a sudden, there was something behind. So Medeiros is saying he kicked him. And then Medeiros responded by pushing him to the ground. I can't even see who the London guy is. It's a red it's Paolucci. He's gone. And a yellow. Paolucci goes red because he threw a punch. Medeiros, yellow. Wow. Wow. Again, I was just saying momentarily ago, it was like not really that chippy a game in the second half. And then to close things off, Paolucci, he's got the red. He's gone. And so he'll be out for a couple games at least. And then Medeiros lucky to escape with just the yellow. So my guess is the ref had a good look at it. Because if he just saw what Medeiros did, he'd be standing right next to me as well on the bench with a red, but he's not.
shot, you're right of the 3. Going in the middle. You understand?
So Vaughan trying to squeeze in one last sub.
Lock in. We'll try set pieces around the.
Cheyenne Sultanzadeh, 21-year-old defender. I think this is more just a time-wasting thing here. Try to give someone some minutes, so Shai will come in. So he wants to get Medeiros out of the game. When you see him running that hot, so clever move by the Vaughan staff. Do not let, because you know that conversation is probably going to continue after the game with some of the London players. Boache clears away. Vivian in there. Well, love the energy from Vivian. And again, Vivian again. Well, we're well into added time now. Ryan Robinson, 10 minutes in, opened the scoring for Vaughan. Andy Baquero, 36 minutes in with a penalty. And then Beckford also had a penalty saved by Pelagia, somewhere in between. London took the throw in quick that didn't allow for the substitution. And then there's the end of the game. So Vaughan, London had their chances. Vaughan capitalized on theirs. 2-0 Vaughan win. Back in the winner's circle after the disappointment to Alliance last week. Vaughan 2, FC London 0 here at the FC London Academy. Well, I'm Chris McKee. Appreciate you tuning in. You drop me a follow on socials at Mr. McKee. I'll post, well, certainly my ex. I wouldn't suggest following me on Instagram. But I post my sports highlights on my Twitter X account at Mr. McKee. Try to get some interviews here post-game. And we'll see you back on the microphone in a couple weeks. Appreciate you tuning in.